Hi and welcome to Click Wearable, and today we are looking at the Sony SmartWatch 3. And I'm going to start with a bit of a spoiler, which is simply this. That when I bought the Sony SmartWatch 3, the idea was simply to review it and then move on to the next thing, selling it on eBay, getting the money back and then investing in the next thing. However, I don't think I'm going to stick with it. So the main question you have to ask is, although it's right for me, is the Sony SmartWatch 3 right for you? First impressions are important, and that goes for smartwatches just as much as it goes for any other piece of jewellery you would wear on your wrist. So it's good news then that as long as you like square, you can actually switch the strap around quite easily on your Sony SmartWatch 3. You just pop out the centre module and then put on your new strap. Those come in a variety of colours, as well as a metal strap. There's quite a premium feel to it. The one that I got was the black rubber strap, and it's clearly quite upmarket. There's also a nice clasp on it as well, which looks the part and makes it very easy to put on and take off as well. Some people are worried about the strap. I'd say don't worry about the strap. It clasps together really well. Chances are very low that it's going to come off by accident. The one thing I will say is that although it's suitable for a man's wrist, put this on a woman's wrist and suddenly it seems an awful lot bigger and an awful lot heavier as well. Sony needs to really take this great idea that they have for different watch straps and different looks and really pare all this down into something just a tiny bit smaller and a bit lighter so that it's more suitable for smaller wrists. Switch it on and you'll see there is a range of changeable watch faces just like all smartwatches. Although the one that Sony's always advertising it with is probably one of the best. The display is quite nice, it's a decent resolution, but I do think we need to start seeing stronger contrasts in these watches to suit the mainstream. That said, the notifications do look great, and that's thanks to the Android Wear ecosystem, which has lots of nice crisp imagery. That brings me to the Android Wear system itself and how it works for the user. And this is the only place where I've met any real sticking points, and they're sticking points that can be easily fixed. The one thing about the Android ecosystem is that it relies on voice to activate a lot of apps, otherwise they're quite difficult to get to. This can lead to it not recognising your voice sometimes, and other times, quite annoyingly, opening them on your phone. That said, there are workarounds and easy ways to sort this, and I'll explain all that in another video. The functions themselves are great, and they make up for any weaknesses with this smartwatch. The GPS, for example, means you can take the watch out and go for a walk or a run without your phone, and you can still map out your route and count your steps. And you might want to use the 4 gigs of built-in memory to store some music while you're out on your run, and again, play that through your Bluetooth headphones without the need to drag your phone out with you as well. And it doesn't take long to notice that the relationship between your phone and your watch is pin sharp. So the second that something shows up on your phone, it shows up on your watch as well. There's very few times that I noticed that there was something that went missed. And it was only with Twitter on that occasion as well. It wasn't something important like email. Which brings me to the one real advantage to having a smartwatch that outstrips everything else, and for me it was quite unexpected. That is that this is a real habit breaker. From day one you will stop constantly staring at your phone. I didn't realise that this would be quite a change, but seriously, I stopped constantly looking at my phone, checking for messages, and then getting distracted by my web browser. There's also some great advantages to maps, for example, which should not be underestimated. It's great for discrete directions, which will stop you looking like a tourist whenever you're in a strange city and need to get from A to B. Charging is also not the huge issue people make out. I tend to get about 2 days from my Sony SmartWatch 3. And when you do need to recharge it, it takes about an hour. That's dinner time for most people. Certainly I think the Sony more than holds its end of the Android Wear market. I think if you're a fitness fan, It's something you definitely want to have a look into, and I think it's very good for its price. So if you do want to be, well, an early adopter I suppose, without breaking the bank, then the Sony SmartWatch 3 is certainly one to have a look at. I think it should be right at the top of the list.